Brooke here at Bayside Garden Center. Today we're going to talk about propagating plants. So there's a couple ways you can propagate different types of plants. Soil propagation, and you can do water propagation. It kind of depends on the plant. So we're going to talk today about propagating jade plants, Leaf Philodendrons, and spider plants. So first thing you always need is a clean pruners or scissors. So that's going to help you get a clean cut. You want it to be sterilized. Don't want to have any type of bacteria in there. So I guess first we'll start with the spider plant thing. So you want to look for one that's got some roots or nodes coming off the bottom. That way you know it's going to take to the water. So we're going to look for a good one. So I think this one down here, you can kind of see the nodes down in there. So you're just going to cut it off of the stem, maybe 2 inches above. Get a clean cut. So spider plants you really can propagate in water or soil. It's personal preference. So we have a small enough jar here that it's going to sit right on top, and we're just going to fill it with our water. And you don't want the whole plant to be submerged, kind of just the root system. So this sits kind of perfectly right where you want it. If you had a little bit wider of a jar and it wasn't going to hold itself up, you could use something like a cut metal stake or toothpicks and position them across the top to hold the plant at the surface level that you want it. So that was super easy. That's going to sit in there for 3 to 4 weeks maybe, and then you could pot it in soil and it'll grow. So next we can do the Leaf Philodendron. Cool. So we'll pull this guy down. And we're going to kind of do the same thing. You're going to look for somewhere like this, just right underneath a leaf. These right here are nodes or roots that are coming out. So you always want to snip just right beneath something like that. You want to make sure you're taking something that has 3 or 4 leaves on it. So we're going to do it right here. And just get a clean cut. Pothos are easy to propagate in water as well. When you're doing water propagations, you want to change the water out maybe once a week. It doesn't have to be that often, but you don't want to leave the same water in there the whole time. And this one you can submerge a little bit more of. And you can also remove the leaf closest to the bottom. Some plants, if you leave it on, it'll rot out, and we don't want that. So we're going to remove that one. And we're just going to pop it in there and leave it sit. So we've got 2 new plants now. And then lastly, for jade cuttings and most succulents, you can propagate them by sitting them on top of soil. So this one's been sitting for a couple weeks, and you can see right there are some new leaves forming. So you don't actually have to plant them or put them in the soil at all. You just kind of lay them on top, and you can see this one's got a little bit of a root system after quite a few weeks on top of the soil. And with soil propagation, you can use rooting hormones. You don't always have to, but it is good to do. We like this one. It's called Root Boost by Garden Tech. So we're going to take some cactus mix and just fill a little pot. Just right about that level. And then we'll pick a good leaf, a decent size. You want to pick a healthy leaf. You don't want to pick something that has any impurities or imperfections, really. And then we're just going to pop it off the plant like that. And we're just going to lay it right on top. And come back in a couple weeks, and we should have some roots forming, some new leaves, and in about 40 years, you'll have a jade this size. So... all right, now you guys know how to propagate a few new plants. You can always look up if the plant you're thinking about propagating prefers water or soil propagation, and hope you learned something.